Welcome to Calming Harp, the sounds of David's Psalms. I'm glad you've joined us for this brief moment we share together. I will be playing some of the music that has been brought out of the Psalms. My name is Steve Rees. I play the harp, and over the last several years I've been bringing the sounds of David's Psalms into recordings. You can find a lot of my music on my website, www.calmingharp.com. I have CDs available and MP3s. And you can go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and then type in Peregrinati, Peregrinnatti, you will find hours of beautiful harp music that you can just play in the background and be calmed with the music that David may have played for his sheep at one time or another. So as we share this half hour, join me and enjoy the sounds of David's harp. Well, once again, good morning. I find myself in Iowa with some dear friends of ours out on their farm, 800 acres or so, with sheep and crops, and so every chance we get close we try to drop by and spend time with them. We'll be having a Shabbat meeting later on today. Quite a nice group of people here. So this is our number 78, and so glad to continue to be with you all and have some very faithful listeners, and I thank you for that. Today it was Wednesday. We were reading in Oswald Chambers' My Utmost for His Highest, and that was July 20. And it was talking about, in fact, the title was Dependent on God's Presence. And it used the text Isaiah 40:31, those who wait on Yahweh shall walk and not faint. They will renew their strength like the eagle. We were in Cody, Wyoming, and they have a beautiful museum there. And one of the great things, they have a bird of prey healing area, and they had a bald eagle there, and so it was really beautiful to get up close and see what a magnificent bird this bald eagle was. Even though it was in an aviary, it couldn't fly well, and that's why they kept it there, because they were not able to release it into the wild. But even in its crippled state, it still presented such a magnificent image there. And so it just brought to my mind, having read that morning about this dependent on God's presence in Isaiah 40:31, and then seeing that eagle, I just thought maybe that's what I would use as the sounding board for my talk this morning. So I'm going to read a little bit out of Oswald. Having the reality of God's presence is not dependent on our being in a particular circumstance or place. It is only dependent on our determination to keep our Adonai before us continually. Our problems arise when we refuse to place our trust in the reality of His presence. The experience the psalmist speaks of, we will not fear even though, in Psalm 46, and I'm going to read that in a minute, will be ours once we are grounded on the truth of the reality of God's presence not just a simple awareness of it, but an understanding of the reality of it. When we will exclaim, "He has been here all the time," at critical moments in our lives, it is necessary to ask God for guidance, but it should be unnecessary to be constantly saying, "Oh, Adonai, direct me in this and direct me in that." Of course he will, and in fact he is doing it already. If our everyday decisions are not according to his will, he will press through them, bringing restraint to our spirit. Then we must be quiet and wait for his directions and his presence. And so I just felt like today we needed to really celebrate and focus on dwelling in his presence no matter what our circumstances are. It's interesting. There was a note at the bottom of one of the pages one morning, and it said, "Wherever the providence of God may dump us down, in a slum, in a shop, in the desert, we have to labor along the line of his direction. Never allow this thought, 'Oh, I am of no use where I am,' because you certainly can be of no use where you are not." Wherever he has engineered your circumstances, pray and enter into his presence. So I wanted to, one of the pieces of music I thought would go along with this a bit is actually music that I came out of Psalm 23, and I called it Green Pastures on the Illumination album that I did back quite a ways. So I'm going to play that for you all and then come back for a few more comments. So here we go. So that's Psalm 23. And now going on to Psalm 46. God is our fortress. Written to the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon the alamoth, which they believe to be some type of an instrument, possibly even the harp in a different naming. Yahweh is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. And that Selah, remember, is that pause and think about that. What he just said, think about that. Nothing is going to move us if we are founded on him. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the cities of Elohim, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. Yah is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. He will help her, and that right early. The nations have raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. Yahweh Tsebaot is with us. Eloi Yaakov, the God of Jacob, is our refuge. Selah. Come and behold the works of Yahweh, what desolations he has made in the earth. He makes wars to cease unto the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear asunder. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am Yahweh. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. And when he said the heathen, the word there actually means, the word is goyim, or nations. Yahweh Tsebaot is with us. The Eloi Yaakov, the God of Jacob, is our refuge. Selah. It brings me to that Psalm 91 as well, that we find is that, speaking of that refuge, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty. He is saying to Yahweh, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim, in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of the trapper, from the destruction of the pestilence. And we need a lot of that deliverance right now. He covers you with his feathers, and under his wings you take refuge. His truth is a shield and armor. You are not afraid of the dread of night, or the arrow that flies by day, or the pestilence that walks in darkness, or destruction that ravages at midday. So much fear is being put upon the land. We've got a new version out that's going to be even worse. And what this is telling us is we don't need to be afraid of that. Fear not. You are not afraid, it says in verse 5. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near you. Only with your eyes will you look upon it and see the reward of those who have done wrong. Because you have made Yahweh your refuge, El Elyon your dwelling place, no evil befalls you, and a plague does not come near you, your tent. Now what a promise that is in the days that we're in right now. For he commands his messengers concerning you to guard you in all your ways. They will bear you up in their hands and not let you dash your foot against a stone. You may tread upon a lion or a cobra, a young lion and serpent will you trample under your feet. Because he clings to me in love, therefore I deliver him. This is what Yahweh says to us. He says that he will set us on high because we know his name. When we call, he will answer. He will be with us in distress and deliver us and esteem us. And with long life he will satisfy us and show us his deliverance. What promises there are there, especially in the days that we find ourselves, that we've been traveling around for the last 2 months now, and a lot of people tried to put a lot of fear on us as we were going around, but they did not keep us from going because our Heavenly Father said to go. And in the process of that, we have been upheld by his provision and by his protection. And that's the way I choose to live my life. Shirley and I have been doing this for 16 years, and that's what the Father has been doing in our lives all that time. And the longer he does that, the longer he sustains you, the longer he upholds you, the more confidence you have in what his plan is for you, plans for good and not evil, for hope and a future. So I'm going to play another song. This is actually a little composition that I had put together based on some of the chord progressions. And it's not from a specific psalm, but it is from the Psalms. And I called it The Journey. And I thought it would be appropriate here because what I'm talking about is our journey. Is our journey one in the presence of our Heavenly Father, as we started out this talk? Or is our journey on our own out there shooting blindly, trying to make something happen? I would suggest and encourage each one of us and myself to make the journey with him, with our Heavenly Father, in his presence, in the secret place of the Most High. So listen to the journey, and then I'll close with a couple of more comments. So that's the sounds of the journey, and I hope you're encouraged by what we've talked about this week. The amazing thing about our Heavenly Father is that He knew all of this that we're facing right here and right now in this year, in this day, in this century, in this time. He knew and He prepared. Nothing has caught Him by surprise. And because that is true, then we do not need to be troubled by what we see fomenting around us. Many conversations I have with many people are so concerned about, the food supply, the fuel, the energy, the whatever. But the reality is that our Heavenly Father, we were talking last night, and I think this is true. There are things that we have depended on that the world supplies that I think our Heavenly Father is kind of starting to peel our fingers off of our clutch on them and showing us that we don't need to rely on what the world offers us. We can rely on Him. He never fails. He always supplies. He is faithful. He never changes. And as long as we are depending on Him, we will be safe. We will be fed. We will be protected from the chaos that swirls around us. So I just want to leave that thought with you as we go into this next week, and just ask God's blessings to be on you and yours. Thank you. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together. Stay tuned, as I say. Little pun. I have many more songs to share with you. I have more to share about how this all comes together. And I pray that you will share and help people, especially those you see stressed, especially in these times that we're going through. Bring people to this calming and this peace and this rest that this beautiful music of the Psalms of David brings to each of our lives. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you next week. Many, many blessings to you all today.